more than many states of Europe. This treaty is actually laid for the foundation of constitutional basis of this European Union. And yes, with this creation of various European Union institutions along with their, they have their objectives and procedures. Likewise, we also had in South and the Asia. So among these treaties, two functional main important treaties are the Treaty on the Functioning of European Union, which is signed in the year 1957 in Rome, and that has led for the creation of European Economic Community, EEC. Okay. Next, we have the Treaty on European Union that was signed in the year 1992 in the Maastricht, which is described to counter the European Union here. And also, in addition to these two main core treaties, there are number of satellite treaties. Satellite treaties are nothing but a part of the treaties, a side treaties that are being very interconnected with them. And few will see few important treaties that are related to European Union. One is the Treaties of Rome and the creation of European Union Community. This consists of 6 ECSC members. Those are Belgium, Italy, France, Luxembourg, West Germany, and the Netherlands. It has formed on March 1957. That has been signed by two treaties of Rome. Okay, this has been signed by two treaties of Rome, which has led to the establishment of what European Atomic Energy Community. This community was created so that they could have a cooperation in the atomic energy development, research, and they could have its utilization. Okay. And next, it has created the European Economic Community. It has resulted, this EEC has resulted in the creation of very common market here that has actually removed many of the obstacles of the movements of services like goods, capital, and the labor. Next, we have the Maastricht Treaty of 1992, which is formally known as Treaty on European Union, that has led for the creation of European Union, the Maastricht Treaty, that was signed on 7th February 1992. Okay, so this agreement, it has actually invested the European community. They could have this broader authority, a wide authority that included the formal control of the community, and they have policies, that community has policies on education, development, consumer protection, and the public health. Okay, so this European community again has gave a rise in the increased role in the social and the economic part here, and economic protection and the technological research also along. It is also providing the European Union citizenship, this Maastricht Treaty. Okay. Next, we'll see the structure and composition of this European Union. It actually comprises of the 7 frameworks, the 7 institutions. They are European Parliament, European Council, the Council of European Union, the European Commission, the Court of Justice of the European Union, the European Central Bank, the Court of Auditors. Okay. In the European Parliament, along with this European Parliament, there will be a Council of European Union, national government ministers. They actually hold this legislative. They also say this legislative structures and the budgetary authorities are with the Union. So this European Union has 751 members. They are actually elected by a period for 5 years by a voting system which is called the universal suffrage, and they actually represent the 400 million citizens of the European Union here. And this act not only directed the election of the body, the European Union is only the directly elected body in the European Union. Okay, it is directly elected. The European Council, it actually consists of a head, whoever the heads of the state governments of this European countries are. It consists of those heads. There will be a president, of this European Commission and who is a full member of this European Council. And this council meets at least 4 times a year. And this actually, the role is to provide proper necessary things, and it could fit the proper necessary things, and it could have the general political guidelines, giving it priorities for the development of the European Union. Okay. Next, we have Council of the European Union. It is one of the decision-making bodies of EU, and ministers of those 27 European countries, they attend the meetings of this council, and the representatives of these countries, these 27 countries, they actually come together, coordinate with each other, coordinate those policies, and adopt few laws within the institution. And the headquarters of this council is located at the Brussels. European Commission. It was established in 1957 and it consists of 28 commissioners, which includes a president here again. So it acts, this European Commission acts as a general interest of this European Union, and this actually has been a complete independence from this national government of the European Union. So this commission is accountable to the European Parliament. Whatever it is doing, it should be accountable to the European Parliament. Next, we have Court of Justice of European Law, which is known as CJEU. That was created in 1952, and its judicial scope has been broadened by the Treaty of Lisbon. Okay, how does the judicial scope came? It has been widened by the Treaty of Lisbon. Okay, so it consists of two branches. What are those two branches? The Court of Justice and the General Court here. Okay, next we have ECB, European Central Bank. So this is the central bank of the Euro area. Euro area is very different. Now, point to be remembered here is, so this ECB is institution of this EU, which is located in the Frankfurt, Germany. Okay, and where this ECB forms the euro system. Euro is nothing but the in the European countries, the in India we say for the rupees, in the for the money we say as the rupees, and in the Europe it is called as euro. Okay, so this is the bank is located in the Frankfurt, which is in Germany, and this forms the euro system together with all those national central banks, that those banks which are belonging to this euro area. Okay, euro area is very different, where the money which is called as euro, it has been adopted. So the primary objective of this ECB is to safeguard the value of the euro. It has to check the value of the euro. It should not fall down. It has to safeguard. Next, we have Court of Auditors. In the next structure, we have this Court of Auditors. These are the financial watchdogs. They actually watch what is going on, and they actually the proper auditors. They are a court of auditors. They function as a watchdog there, and they are very much independent with the external auditors of the European Union. This was established in 1975, and it is presently seen in the Luxembourg. Okay. Basing on the rules that are laid on the treaty on the functioning of this European Union, the Court of Auditors, based on this treaty, they discharge their functions. Who? The Court of Auditors discharge their functions. So they actually check, these auditors check the revenue that is been spent on the European Union is not only on a regular, but also they check it should be on the legal. So they actually ensures that there should be a very good sound management, very good proper management of those funds that has to become, and they ensure the management which is sound and of those funds of the European Union. It ensures. Okay, this is the structure and the composition of the euro. And we'll see the euro currency. So this is a euro is nothing but a form of money which I said just now. So that is nothing but here we call as rupees, and in the European countries it is called as euro for the 19 countries of the eurozone. So after this US dollar, widely mostly used currency in forex trading is the euro here. Okay, so this is the second most widely held foreign exchange that can be used by the central banks, and the European Central Bank is one of the, that's now we said we have spoken about the euro in the ECB here. So that is associated with the managing of the euro here, and that ECB safeguards the value of the euro. Okay, so the management of this euro is very much complicated because it is being shared by 19 countries. We only see rupees in only one country, that is there in India. But the euro is being seen in the 19 countries. So that is what it is being complicated. The management of euro is been very complicated. So that has been the euro, the value of this euro has been affected because each country has its own fiscal policy, right? Every country owns a very different policies because every country is very different. Every country has their own different kinds of policies, and they have their own policies as such. So 9 European Union members has not adopted this euro. They have their own currencies. So in 2018, they were Croatia, Bulgaria, Denmark, Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, Sweden, Romania, and the United Kingdom. So these were the 9 European members. They have not adopted the euro here. So next we have the eurozone. So people actually, that's what I said, point to be remember here is the eurozone before. So what is eurozone here? People actually confuse between the European Union and the eurozone here. They they actually think that these two are same, but it is not, because European Union is very political, and this is economic union which consists of 27 countries. So together they cover the much of the European continent. Okay. In opposite to this, we have Eurozone, which is an economical geographical zone. On the map we have a few countries adopting this economical zone. They actually are the member states, a part of this European Union, who adopted this euro as their common currency. So whereas those nine states has not adopted, but other states has been 19 states has been adopted. Okay. Next, we have the Shenzhen area. This Shenzhen agreement was signed on 14th June in the town of Shenzhen, which is there in the Luxembourg, by 5 out of 10 EC members. So this Shenzhen area has been taken the name from the Shenzhen itself, where this treaty has been with the agreement have was signed, and it consists of this area which is belonging to 26 European states here. Okay. So these EU countries has put an end to whatever the requirements for all types of border control, including the need of passport. So in the Shenzhen area, they can have one passport and they can move around with any of the countries. Like if you are falling from any one of the Shenzhen country and you want to travel to another Shenzhen country, you can have that free movement across those countries if you are coming from the Shenzhen area. So this has came up to an end of the border control requirements of the border control, including the need for passport so that they could move across those countries. So this area actually has a single jurisdiction, and for international travel purposes, and they have a very with the single jurisdiction, they have travel purposes with a common visa policy. Okay, they have a very common visa policy because this has been adopted to have this few common. They have actually put an end to all those requirements and all those border controls, and they wanted to, and this is working in a single judiciary so that we work with a common visa policy. Okay. So we'll see what are the aims and purposes of the EU Act. The main aim here is it offers citizens to offer the citizens the European Union freedom, justice and security without any internal borders. So there should be no internal borders within those countries while controlling the external borders. Outside the European Union, they should be controlling, but within the internal thing, they should be uh, what's this security? They should offer those security without any internal borders within the internal, but outside they should provide the security. And the main aim is to promote peace and well-being of the citizens who are of European Union here. And next is to establish this economic union, and they should have a common currency. That's what we have discussed, which is the euro. The objectives. The main objectives are to promote to ensure the smooth and efficient trade within the Europe, so that the competition between the companies is so much free and fair. There should be no discrimination within them regarding to the efficiency of the trade within that Europe. And next objective is they have to facilitate, it has to facilitate the steady, proper and the sustainable development of Europe by how? By a balanced economic growth in this competitive market economy. Next, to promote peace, not only in Europe but in the entire world through a common foreign and a security policy. The main objective. Next, we'll see what are the areas of cooperation that comes under the EU here. So areas only where EU can legislate. Next are the areas of European Union or the national governments where it can legislate. Legislate is nothing but it is legal or it can be lawfully binding. Next, where the areas where this EU can only coordinate, it could support, it could complement the action of member countries. Okay. Next, we have areas only EU can legislate. So in specified areas, only in European areas, it has to pass laws. So the role of member state is only to implement the laws here. They should check the law has to be implemented. They are like competition rules for the single market, custom unions, trade and international agreements. So these trade and international agreements should be under certain circumstances, not in many circumstances, only few certain circumstances, and the monetary policy for the Eurozone countries. Next, we'll see EU or national government can legislate. In the EU or the national governments, where it can legislate in these areas, not only this EU, but also the member countries are also able to pass the laws. There we have seen they were only the areas where only EU can legislate, but in these areas where the member countries can also able to pass the laws here. So they are not only proposed any laws before, has not proposed any laws before or they have not decided to do so. These are where what are those areas are there in single market, economic, social and the territorial cohesion. Cohesion is nothing but a part here. So employment and the social affairs, agriculture and the environment. So where in certain areas the EU can only support and coordinate or complement the action of member countries. So in certain areas it could only give support and it could coordinate the whatever the action of those member countries are. In these areas, they are neither interfering nor passing any laws here. Okay. So what are those areas where they should not interfere and pass are? They should not interfere and they should not pass any laws in industry, public health, tourism, culture, civil protection. So it could only give it support and it should only coordinate with the action with the member countries. Okay, so this is what is your European Union is. Next, we will understand the BRICS. So what is BRICS? BRICS is an abbreviation for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Okay. So this is an informal group of states which has been formed by five states located in four different continents. Now you see, European Union was located in the one continent, in the one upper part. If you see of the world map, the European Union comes in the upper part, but this BRICS has been coming from the different continents of the world. So they are the Federation of Republic of Brazil in South America, the Russian Federation in Europe, the Republic of India, and the People's Republic of China, that is located in the Asian continent, and the South African located in the and the South Africa, which is located in the African continent. Okay. So the initiative that was to create this BRICS, forming this BRICS grouping, was taken up by the Russia here. So the first BRICS ministerial meeting, it was held within the margins of UN General Assembly session in New York on 28th September 2006 at the proposal of whom Russian President Vladimir Putin. With his proposal only, we can see that on 20th September 2006, the BRICS has came up picture. So the foreign ministers of Brazil, Russia, China, and the defense minister of India, they have to part in this meeting. And the dignitaries has actually shown their interest in expanding the multilateral, many cooperations among those countries, among them. And the foreign ministers meetings of this BRICS has hosted in Yekaterinburg on 16th May 2008 with the initiation of the Russia. So this came up into picture on 16th May 2008 on the initiation of the Russia. Okay. Next we'll see the principles and the groupings. So relations among these BRICS are actually built on the principles of the UN Charter, since they actually went with the margins. They actually went with the margins of UN General Assembly. So they have built their principles on the UN Charter itself. So along with those principles, there are norms of international law here that has been taken up into consideration while maintaining the relations with these states here. Okay. So with this, the principles that has been agreed by the states at the summit at the 2009, in the year 2009, summit meeting was like a openness. It was very open. It was very neutral. It was very solitary, and it was a non-block nature with regard to the third parties, so that they could guide amongst themselves with the relations within these nations. With this BRICS. Okay, so BRICS summit. So since 2009, totally there were 11 summits that was held till then, but this was the old data that is provided in the book. But as of now, we have like 13 to 15, I guess, BRICS summit that has been happened. Present BRICS summit it gonna held in the last summit was actually the last summit was held in the Russia. So, but in the 2020 BRICS summit, it was been postponed because of the COVID scenario that was held. And yeah, as of the old data, we see that 2020 was the video conference BRICS summit that was held, but the recent one was also held in the Russia. The groupings of this BRICS. So, uh, sorry. So as of now, there were like 17 BRICS that has been happened, and Brazil has hosted the recent one. So the groupings has been focused on the following priorities. We'll see. So grouping has worked on a common one, which regarding to the regional problems like the Syrian issue, Afghan issue, and the Libyan issue, and the Iranian nuclear issues. This is a very common stance. This is a very common one that they have with the regional problems. So it has also arrived at the common agreement in the fields of economic and financial issues, including the IMF reforms and also the World Bank here. Okay. So this has led for the creation of BRICS interbank cooperation mechanism that has provided to extend credit facilities in the local currency. They can have credit facility from the BRICS, but within their own local currency. If you say we have rupees, we can get the credit facility in the rupees. And the establishment of BRICS exchange allies has also been created. Alliance has also been created. So this BRICS has been successful in expanding all those external relations with 8 leading African integration associations and also with the leaders of African Union. Okay. So this has actually this grouping has important points of contact between the BRICS, and they have been leading centers of power and they have been emerging worldwide here. So the member countries has signed the agreements to establish the new development bank, and they had also for the establishment of BRICS contingent reserve arrangement at the 6th summit. Okay. So the group also has also spoken about, they had talks, the BRICS strategy for economic partnership here. They had talks regarding this, and they have made a roadmap for BRICS trade, economic and investment cooperation. Nextly, they have the group, they have discussions that is been related to the issues of energy, banking, cooperation, trade, agriculture, health, space utilization, education, tourism, digital economy, fight against transnational crime like drug trafficking, money laundering, and the removal of poverty and the social inequality. This is what they have led discussions on these issues. So these were the priorities that was been given, and next we'll see the structure and composition. There are two components in the financial domain where it constitutes the structure. One is the New Development Bank, NDB, or the BRICS Development Bank. Next, we have the Contingent Reserve Bank, which is Contingent Reserve Arrangement, which is called as the CRA. So, New Development Bank, it has its headquarters located in Shanghai. Shanghai is in China. So, the NDB has been referred to be as the BRICS Development Bank, that is a multilateral development bank that has been operated by these member states of the BRICS. And the bank was created with the intention that it could mobilize the resources so that they could have a sustainable development projects. Projects that are meant for the future purposes without impacting the present one. And also it should be sufficient for the future generations and infrastructure within the member states here. And the bank actually initially has a starting capital of $50 billion, and the capital was actually planned to increase $100 billion over a period of time here. And the 5 member states has contributed for the $10 billion each, bring the total of the $50 billion here. And the key operations that they go are the transport, clean energy, irrigation, sustainable urban development, infrastructure, economic cooperation among those member states. So this is what their key operations are of. Next we have CRA. It was established by BRICS in the 2015, BRICS countries in the 2015, and it has created the taken into consideration the increasing instances are the increasing things of the global financial crisis that has been happening around the whole world. So, and it has to act protection against this global liquidity pressures here. Okay. So where it has included the currency issues as well, where the national currencies of these member states were being affected because of the financial pressures, global growing financial pressures here. You know how competitive the world is been growing, and that's what it is putting up the financial pressures here globally. So the total reserve that was committed was $100 billion here. Okay. The aims of this BRICS Act, so it has to promote and it has to promote and to encourage the dialogue, the space, the state, and it has to cooperate among those member states in an incremental, in a proactive, in a pragmatic, and also in a very transparent way. You should not hide anything. You are very open there. Okay. So to not only serve the common interest of those developing countries and the emerging market, but it has to last building the peace here, and there must be a common prosperity across the world. Okay. Next, it should have a common understanding so that it could cope up and it could tackle with the global financial economic crisis. So these are the aims and objectives. Aims of the BRICS here. Objectives are it has to seek reform. So it has to seek a creation of just and the legitimate international system. It has to strive for the reform of the United Nations Security Council here, and it has to promote the South-South cooperation, and it has to bridge between the, it has to act as a bridge, the bridge that we have connecting from one way to the another between the developing and the developed countries. So it has to encourage developing countries to take advantage of this NDP and the CRA to strengthen their bargaining power. Okay. The areas of cooperation here are, since its first summit in 2009, it has established more than 30 cooperation areas. The prominent areas are the economy, finance, health, science and technology, innovation, security, and the business. So main areas are the NDB, which we have already seen. Next, the contingent reserve arrangement, which we already have been um, discussed. This falls under the economic and the financial cooperation. Next, we have this health. In the domain of health, the member countries, they actually help each other here. So they have a very visible, very clear seen research within this cooperation within the area. Cooperation in the tuberculosis research network here. So it is actually enabling to fight against this infection. So by promoting how, by joint researches they have been doing within this member states, and there have been a development initiatives that has been going on regarding to this tuberculosis research network. Next, we have science, technology, and innovation. In this area, this grouping was started since 2014. BRICS STI Corporation. STI is nothing but science, technology, and innovation. There are 11 working groups who are functioning here and that are dealing with the matters like management of water resources, geospatial technologies, infrastructure of research and tech and projects, on information and communication technology, biotechnology, and the biomedicines. These are the areas that they are dealing and they are functioning here. Those 11 working groups here. Okay, next we have the security. So within this security, that is been relating to the international security and also the transnational crimes such as cyber attacks, drug trafficking, terrorism, money laundering, and the corruptions. Corruptions we know of one politician may be hiding the money in the another country where the corruption is been taking place and the money laundering is also been going on from the one country to the another country. That's how they are cooperating with this security uh, situations in these areas. Next, we have the business. So, among these groupings are the business council and the business forum. So, this council has to focus on bringing those business communities coming from this putting this five countries closer. The job of this business council is to focus on bringing the business communities pertaining to this five countries closer. Okay. Let us now see the role of regional organizations in the contemporary international politics. So this 21st century has been a very challenging, such as there have been many challenges that has been going on, such as this climate change, environmental issues, terrorism, violence, non-state actors, violence by non-state actors. There is a proliferation of the weapons of mass destruction, energy security, drug trafficking, crime. These are a lot of challenges that has been facing in this present 21st century. Along with these, there are like political security and the environmental challenges that is where the world faces and that has to handle, and it should address those issues that are actually connected or will pertaining to the economic integration, because it has been facilitating trade and commerce, exchange of technology, innovations, and a seamless movement because people move across the boundaries. So they should check all those issues that has been pertaining to the economic integration, raising the standards of living because people move from one country to the another country in the search of good standard of living and to improve their quality life. So people go around the world. You know how people from India has been moving to the another countries for a better quality of life. So that's how from the other parts of country also people come to India for the education purpose or for the health purpose, for many purposes. That the people go and travel around the countries, and most of the regional organizations they actually tend to work along with this multilateral organizations such as the United Nations for their common weal of the world's humanity. So the regional organizations have their task for addressing and tackling all these issues, and they have been properly responding to the newly emerging challenges. So in the day-to-day life, it has been the world has been getting new challenges. The present challenges that we can see is the AI that has been a very challenging for the whole of the world. That has been newly emerging one. So how they have been adapting to this AI as such. They are responding with the newly challenges and the newly trends along the niche. So let us come with the summary what we have seen here. The Second World War and the Cold War, which has created a lot of fear and insecurity among these nations of within the nations of those world, and whereas especially in the European states, as a result, they have formed many regional organizations to ensure the security and the territorial integrity. And however, after the end of Cold War, security was no more seen a threat, and the economic cooperation of the world has actually took a driving seat, the main one here. As a result of that, these regional organizations came up with the economic cooperation as a priority. Okay. So, whereas two among them were the European Union and the BRICS here, that's what we have discussed. Within the European Union, it has been a resultant of many treaties that is been signed by more than a score of states of Europe here. Among those main treaties were the Treaty of Rome, which has led for the creation of the EEC. EEC is nothing but the European Economic Community, and next we have the Maastricht Treaty. Okay, so this Maastricht Treaty has been actually described to counter the European Union. So the European Union has come up since the Maastricht Treaty of this 1992. with a lot of integrations in terms of the social, economic, political, and cultural unity that has been taken place within that European continent. So that's what we have discussed the Eurozone and the Schengen agreements. So they move around those Schengen areas. The good cooperation. Next, we have BRICS. BRICS is nothing but a grouping of 5 countries, namely the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They have been representing from the 4 different continents of the world, and they have been creating. It was an initiative that has been created by the Russia in 2006 by the President Vladimir Putin. Since then, there were like 11 summits that has been taken, and as of now, they are like at present data says it's like 17 summits that has been happened. And next we have this has been a very successful in bringing out the economic cooperation and understanding the existing world order, and it is actually favoring in the changing needs of the developing countries. So this is what your regional organizations as of today. Thank you.